I'm very pleased to let you know that I've released my Shabbat book. It's called Cycle of the Sun. And I made a website for this to track the Shabbat day, and it's cycleofthesun.com. You can get this book by visiting primitivesignlanguage.com/shop. And all my books that I write will be there because the information that I put out and all these books that I put out has to do with the Manakati language. It all comes back to it because if you study the Bible, the information in the Bible, it was written in Manakati. Manakati is ancient Hebrew, but more specifically, it's sign language. The language came from hand signs. And the hand signs represent symbols that are all around us. And so to crack the code in the Bible, because the Bible is a book of riddles, because the words in the Bible, they sometimes are riddles, sometimes they're easy to see, and it's just in your face, but you have to know what the symbols mean. Yahweh has been communicating with us with signs, and one of the biggest signs that we have is the sun. The sun is a clear sign. It's a clear sign when day begins and when day ends. In this video that you're seeing right here, I am chasing the sunset. I located where the sun was at the end of the day, and I wanted to see its going down point. But once the sun decides to set, it's real fast. It's quick. And so I do finally see the sun set, and I had to drive real fast, and my husband is holding the camera. That's what you're seeing here. And I will post the link of this video in the description. And there's a reason why I am following the sun rise and the sunset, because of the information that Yahweh has revealed to me. Okay, and so I was not satisfied with keeping the Friday Shabbat when I realized that the Romans had a calendar that had 8 days a week. And now they're telling us the seventh day is Friday, basically Saturday, and we're supposed to believe them? I think not. We're not supposed to follow the nations. And what's proven to you that Saturday is the Shabbat? There's nothing proven to you that Saturday is the Shabbat. And so when I look into the scriptures, it looks like it's possible that the moon has to do with the Shabbat. This is why there are many lunar Shabbat keepers. However, based on the Malakati language and the reason, the large reason why I wrote the book, the moon does not have to do with the Shabbat day. And I am going to reveal the information that I have in the book, and I'm going to spoil the book. Now, if you don't want me to spoil the book right now, get out of this video, because I'm about to tell you some big amazing fact. But there's more. There's so much facts that are amazing that I put in the book that I am going to do a video about it, but it might take me months to do a video of the book. And when I make the video of the book, it's going to read the book just the way I outlined it in the book. And I'll do an audio, and it's basically me reading the book. And I already started it, but it's going to take me months. I just have to do it in my free time. I work just like you, and doing this is not really paying me like that. And the money that I get for the books, I have to basically buy more books for you guys to have books. And so, it's just money so I can continue to put out the information. And I do need more money so I can, like you guys want the video, you want the audio, I need time. And so anyways, the spoiler that I'm going to give you in this book is how I found the Shabbat day. Okay. Now, this is the spoiler. Okay. Pay attention. Enoch said there are 364 days in a year. Okay. And I utilize the book of Enoch in my book, and I explain the book of Enoch. Now, there's not 364 days a year. Did Enoch not lie? And the book of Jubilee, by the way, also says there's 364 days a year. Now, before I answer that question, and Enoch did not lie, by the way, if the year had 364 days, wouldn't you see the Shabbat very clearly? 364 days divides by 7 into 52 weeks. 52 weeks a year. Then that would mean the Shabbat, the first day would be day 1, and the last day of the year would be the Sabbath day. So if we were to count day 1 of the new year, according to the seasons, that would be spring. Spring would be the beginning of the month. And if we follow the sun, the cycle of the sun, spring would be the first month, okay? And the first day of spring would be day 1, and the 7th day is the Shabbat. That would be easy to see, because at the end of the year would be the Shabbat, and it would always, cycle and come back to the beginning. But the year does not have 364 days. And this is the spoiler. Yahweh added days into the year, into the cycle of the sun. So right now, currently, there's an average of 365.24219 days a year. And Yah added days into the sun, and it's written in our Bible. This proves the miracles in the Bible. The first time he added days was in the days of Joshua. He added 24 hours into the sky calendar. Okay, because the sun is a calendar, the moon is a calendar, the stars is a calendar, because every year it cycles and resets. Okay, the moon resets every 3 years, but the sun right now, with the added days, does not reset every year. It does reset every year, but it doesn't reset with the moon. That's what I want to say. It does not reset with the moon every year. The moon is supposed to be in unity with the sun every 3 years, according to Enoch, but it's not. Okay, and so this is what my book is explaining: how to find the Shabbat day with the added days. So when Yahweh spoke to the sun and said, "Stand still," Yahweh made the sun stand still for Joshua's sake, so they could win the battle. It added a whole 24 hours. Hezekiah wanted a sign. Isaiah gave him a sign. The sun went back a little. When this happened in Hezekiah's days, this added 0.24219 days into our calendar. Okay, and this is what causes the leap year. And so these two miracles proves that Yahweh exists, number one. It also proves that our Shabbat day has changed. Okay, it's not so much that it's changed. It has not changed. Okay, it just moved because of the added days. We don't see it. Okay, I know for a fact that most Israelites would see the Shabbat day had the year had 364 days, as Enoch said, because it's an even division of 7, and then the first day of the year would be the first day of spring. And then the 7th day from that would be the Shabbat. And then every 7 days it would cycle and it would come back and start all over again in perfect unity. But the miracles, we have been using the foreigners' timekeeping to track our Shabbat. And that was the first mistake. Yahweh is trying you. Number one, do you believe that the sun controls our days? Because if you are a lunar Shabbat keeper, you don't believe this. When Yahweh created everything and rest of the Shabbat day, the first day the sun was made. Okay, the sun created the day and the night. When it's daytime, the moon has nothing to do with it. The sun is boss of the day. When the sun sets, it allows the moon to be the brightest light, and then the moon is boss of the night. But when the sun comes back, the moon gets out of the way. The sun will rule. So the sun tells us when a day began and when a day ended. In the days of Joshua, it was a 48-hour day, that one day. That never happened again. When have you ever experienced a 48-hour day? It never happened. Not before, not after, okay? And that happened that one time, and it added 24 hours into our cycle. And if we were calculating the days, the way it's supposed to be by the sun, we would have, noticed that, the miracles happen if we believed in it. Like, do you believe that Yahweh added the days that the miracles happened? Because this is what we see. And this is a sign for us. Yahweh said that the Shabbat day is a sign for the Israelites. We're supposed to be watching for it. But you know what? The scriptures were translated, and the verse that says to watch for the Shabbat, they translate it as observe the Shabbat. But it's supposed to be watch, because shamor means a watch, not observe. And the word shamor, they translate it as observe. And and it just communicates something different. Observe is to watch, but some people might think, okay, it just means to obey, observe the Sabbath. No, it's to watch. We're supposed to be watching and counting the days. We're supposed to be praying 3 times a day. But 3 times a day according to what? According to the clock that Yahweh made, which is in the sky. And this is what my book, Cycle of the Sun, speaks about. And you know what? This is not the only information that I'm revealing in this book. This is a big information. This is to get you interested in reading what I found. But the book took me a year to write because I have more information to reveal to you, more evidence pointing to the true Shabat day. And cycleofthesun.com, I am watching the sun and recording the events that I found, and I have more information, and I have questions for you right now. It's for you to answer, and if you don't know the answer, then you need to get this book. Okay, why does the Bible say the earth does not move and the sun moves around it? Aren't we told the earth is a globe? Aren't we told the earth circulates around the sun? But the Bible contradicts that. What are the scriptures and why is that so? My book will explain that. If you know the earth, if you believe the earth is flat, then you're at a great start. And this video is on cycleofthesun.com if you want to see the evidence of that. But I do cover it in the book. The topic of the earth being flat is the number one, the first topic I mentioned in this book, because in order for us to see the cycle of the sun, we need to know that the sun moves around the earth. Okay. Let me ask the next question. What does the Shabbat day memorialize? Because the Shabbat day memorializes something. And if you are in this truth for a while, or you've been studying the scriptures, you should already know this answer. That's pretty easy. This next question I'm going to ask you. What does mu'aid mean? And why was it translated as congregation, season, appointed time, and feast day? What is the connection? Because there is a connection, and we need to know what this word means. Why do you calculate how do you calculate the Feast of Weeks? And what day is it on? Okay? If you don't know how to calculate the days, the Feast of Weeks, it's because you don't know when the true Shabbat day is, and you're not calculating the true Shabbat day, because the Feast of Weeks is important, and I'm flabbergasted. It's not a word I typically use. I know it's a funny word. I'm flabbergasted of the knowledge that just finding out the Shabbat day and watching the sun has revealed stuff that I wasn't even looking for. Okay? And I am so excited about the Feast of Weeks. I'm definitely going to partake in it. And if you don't have the true Shabbat day, you ain't going to be partaking in it. Like, how are you going to do it? You're going to be doing it. You're going to be doing it all wrong. And the Feast of Weeks is important. Next question. Why does the book of Enoch say the year has 364 days? I already told you that. I've already spoiled it. It's because of the 2 miracles. I'm following a list on my paper. What does Abib mean? Okay? It does not mean barley. You have been deceived to think it means barley. Have you been following the foreigners? Have the foreigners told you it meant barley? It doesn't mean barley. And knowing the meaning of Abib helps us to know when the true spring is, and we are being deceived. What does the names of the week mean? And what do you call the days of the Shabbat cycle? This is what my book goes into. What is the sign of the Shabbat in the heavens? And what are the key locations on earth? How do we calculate to show the Shabbat? Okay, so there are key locations on earth. If you don't know it, I feel like it's really important for you to know this, okay? Because it does help into using the math, because there's math when it comes to the Shabbat day. Yahweh said day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and then on the 7th day is a Shabbat. There's math on the Shabbat day, and you can see the math when you study the cycle of the sun. And this book that I wrote, it focuses on the sun, but it also goes into the moon cycle. It goes into the cycle of the stars, and there's another anomaly that you don't even know about that I discovered, that it has to do with the Shabbat day that this book reveals. The book will, another question I have for you, what are the different names of the sun and the moon? This is very important because not knowing the Manakati word for the sun and the moon has allowed people to translate scriptures and deceive you. You not knowing the original language or not even studying it to look up the word. It doesn't matter if you don't know the language. If you can look up a word in a foreign language and actually study it, you can know at least that one word. You have to look up words in the original language if you care about the scriptures and its meaning. I did this for you in this book, okay? I organized the information about all of the feast days and the Shabbat. And the Shabbat day is called a Mu'ai day in the scriptures in Leviticus 23. And so were the feast days. They're Mu'ai days. All of these are Mu'ai days. And if you don't know what Mu'ai means, like how are you going to properly observe it? Let's see. The next question I have for you is the literal translation. Okay. So the last question is, what are we watching for? What are we supposed to be looking out for? And this is my question to you for the Shabbat, because Yah said to watch for the Shabbat. What are we looking out for? This is what the book reveals. And so visit primitivesignlanguage.com. I don't have any more to say about this book. I am diligently working on the audio because it's very important. You know, I am supposed to be completing my volume 2 of Primitive Sign Language. Keep getting distracted. The Shabbat day is very important. I wanted to finish this book, and so I did pause writing that book. But in the meantime, I've been still working on that book and in the language. But this Shabbat day's information is really important. You know, I'm all about watching for the signs. And the Shabbat day is about watching signs. And this is what I am good at, is watching for signs. I'm very keen about it. And it's interesting that my name also is indicating signs of the sun, because the ayin symbol is round like the sun. The tu symbol is about a sign. So it's like, it looks like my name also means watching the sun, watching the signs of the sun. And so I find that really interesting that the language can mean so much. And like, I'm all about the signs and the heavenly signs that are being shown to us. We're not paying attention. You know, the lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse, what does it mean? What is the signs of that? What is it telling us? This is what my book covers. And this book is hardcover to honor the Shabbat day. This book is in full color because I want to honor the Shabbat day. And it's a big book. This book is 8 by 11. Wait a minute. It's 8. I think it's 8.25 by 11. So it's a big book. And so it's over 200 pages, full color. Visit primitivesignlanguage.com/shop. And look for the audio and the video. It's not going to come soon. I'm working on it. I'm diligent about it because this is very important. And I want everybody to know this information. And I want it to go out in the proper order. I really didn't want to tell you about the extra days until you read the book. However, I knew that once that information goes out, I knew that you guys were going to open your mouth and say something. But that's fine. It's not that I'm hiding it as a secret. I want you to get the full information. And if people are satisfied with just knowing that, oh yeah, the days has an extra, 1 day and 0.25 extra days, and yeah, now I'm going to go keep the Shabbat. That's just not enough. You need to know the signs that are in the sky, and we need to be watching for it. Because guess what? Oh, I almost forgot. See, there's so much information that I'm just leaving out because it's like the book has it all. There are prophecies. There are prophecies in the heavens. I mean, there's prophecies coming concerning the heavens, and I wrote it in the book, and we need to be watching out for it. And I wrote it. I wrote about it, and if we're not using the sun as a timekeeper, and we're not praying 3 times a day according to the sun, and we're not watching out for the signs, then why are you studying the scriptures? That's my question. If you're not studying the original language, you literally don't care what Yah wrote. I'm sorry, you don't care. In my eyes, you don't give a damn. Because it wasn't written in English. It wasn't written in Spanish. It wasn't written in Portuguese or French. None of it. It was written in Manakati. Yahweh has a secret language in there that I have wrote in the book, Primitive Sign Language, I told you about the symbols and the signs. And so this will give you clues. And it also, the language, when you know about the symbols, it goes back into our life. We can start to see signs in our life of other things, and it also gives us lessons. Like, you guys are missing out on the lessons that the symbols are giving us. Like the ayin symbol, the lesson of like, you guys are missing out on lessons that the scriptures are telling you just by not knowing the symbols and studying language. Like, I just don't understand. And I'm trying to like tell you guys, and like some of you guys are just sleeping. And I know there are many of you that want me to teach the language. I am getting distracted. Like the Sabbath day book has distracted me, and I have to work, and I'm just trying to get support. You can support me on patreon.com/Bhatya. $20, I think it's $20 a month support. You can get lots of perks, such as you can get access to all the information that I put out, the videos that are paid that other people don't get. Manakati.com, Itharey.com. You can get access to it all the download PDFs that I do that other people don't get. You can get it, and as I put it out. And then when I write a book, if you've been supporting me before I release the book, you will get it. So everybody who's on patreon.com right now, since February, been supporting me, who are on a team level, paying the $20 a month, support, which helps maintain the websites, the apps, and you're going to get a copy of this book. I've already sent you a link to inside your Patreon account for a coupon code for you to get the book for free. Because you've been supporting me. You're a team player. So when I get a book, you get a book. And so I'm trying to I'm trying to put out the information, and I need more support so I can devote time. I got to make this video for the Shabat day. I got to, work on the audio, and that will also cover the video. It's just a lot of work that I have to do. But the signs are in the language, and if you don't know it, you're lost. Like you are just basically allowing yourself to be deceived, and I don't want to be deceived. Every day, I'm looking at the signs. I'm watching for the signs. If you don't know the signs and the meaning of them, you're not watching for anything. And it's like, we are just wasting our time if we're just reading English. We're just reading Spanish. What are you doing? You're supposed to be looking to the signs and the scriptures. And like, there's just so much to do. Shalom.